The desperate search for Nancy Guthrie has the attention of the President of the United States. He says he is directing any needed federal resources to assist in the investigation. And President Trump also says he spoke directly with Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Her 84-year-old mom has been missing since Sunday. Authorities believe she was taken by force. A former assistant SWAT team leader with this.
The American people are so heavily involved in this case, and they want answers. I get that. Is this possibly a situation where there is more going on behind the scenes, and for the integrity of the investigation, they don't want to release? Possibly. But I assure you, with President Trump, Kash Patel coming inside, the FBI's crime lab is going to be working rapidly.
Lucas Tomlinson in D.C. Lucas.
Good afternoon, Harris. President Trump just spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast here in Washington, where many are praying for the safe return of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. The president posted last night, quote, "I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy," signed President Donald J. Trump. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel recently spoke about the case with our own Brett Baer.
The local authorities notified the FBI of it, and we are working with them in any manner they choose. But remember, they're the lead right now, and we have to respect that, but we are there to help them in any way we can, on ransom notes or otherwise.
There are a number of resources the FBI can bring to the case. It has a long history of handling high-profile kidnappings and has an elite hostage rescue team, which includes former members of the U.S. military's Special Operations Forces. And Attorney General Pam Bondi has also been involved in the case. She has known Savannah Guthrie for decades. She also reportedly spoke with her on the phone and is receiving constant updates. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel had a previously scheduled trip to Tucson next week. Everyone is hoping this case is resolved before he arrives. In the meantime, Patel says he will continue monitoring the investigation. Harris.
Lucas, thank you very much. According to the federal data, kidnappings involving people in their 80s are rare. Take a look at this. They make up only 0.02% of all kidnappings last year. Now I want to replay some of the Guthrie family's emotional plea they posted last night. We're going to go deeper into some of the context of what they're saying. Watch.
We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
She was just 14. Elizabeth Smart, kidnapped in 2009 from her bedroom, held captive for 9 months. Her dad, Ed Smart, says a message like what you just watched could be a key.
What happened in our case is Elizabeth heard about them from Brian David Mitchell. He would come back and say, the whole country's looking for you and your family, but nobody knows because I've got you. It's hard to know whether Nancy can hear or not, but it's important to make that effort to do that because, bringing her hope in a very difficult time.
I love that. He says bringing her hope in a difficult time, he goes on to say, is so critical, maybe the most important thing. In Focus now, Dan O'Shea, former hostage negotiator and retired Navy SEAL commander. Good to see you today. First of all, the high visibility of that moment last night was a little jarring because we hadn't seen the family, and all of a sudden this goes viral. What does that tell you about this case, that that's even a possibility of being injected and now everybody's seen it?
Well, the reality is you want to do the negotiation behind the scenes, but in a case like this with the high-profile relationship to Savannah Guthrie, TV show host on NBC's Today Show, you really can't hide this. And so the family did. They put out a lot of very important messages in that video. Not only did it send a message to the mother to maintain hope that we're looking for you, but very clearly stating to the kidnappers, send us a message. We're ready to negotiate. We want to talk to you. So we know that right now the hostage notes that have come in, the demands have not come directly to the family yet. And as Savannah talked about, you can, AI now gives you the ability to do a virtual kidnapping, to make, images and voice sounding. So it's going to be very challenging. So they want to prove proof of life, and that the group has her.
First of all,
that's who they're talking.
Back it up. I want to go a little bit slower on this. You said that it matters now just in terms of the fact that they are talking directly to this person or people. What, would that be like really far down the list of what you would want? What would they have done before this point? I mean, those so-called ransom notes only went out, what, about 36, 48 hours ago?
Well, listen, when there's a high-profile kidnapping, everyone comes out of the woodwork. I mean, one of the demands went to TMZ, and it was a Bitcoin demand because, of course, if you transfer Bitcoin, it can be a lot more secure. And then, in a lot of cases, if people rush out to pay the initial ransom, all they do is they have to pay more money to actually get proof of life. So they laid out important messages asking for proof of life. It's bringing up the notion that this is a valued person of the family. She's a grandmother. Her health is not well. They're raising the stakes to rush this resolution. Whoever is holding this individual, they want them to talk to the family directly.
Look,
and it was an important message.
I'm sorry. I know you talked to my team and you said the fact that these negotiations usually are behind closed doors is something that now suddenly is oppositional to what we're seeing. So would you call this a development? How do you categorize this?
Well, the situation, it was pointed out, she's an elderly woman. These are not the normal targets. I mean, less than 1%. She's got health issues. So she doesn't have her medication. So getting this resolved quickly is imperative to bring her home safely because, she's got these health concerns that need to be addressed. And the fact that you've now got the attention of the president and the head of the FBI, this has raised the stakes. It's a gamble to do this message. But their back was up against the wall, and I felt that they had no choice, and they're trying to get this resolved, and that's what was driving this decision to go publish that video to the world.
Dan, have you ever worked a case like this with elderly?
We had some older cases, some older people in Iraq, 50s, 60s, and it's almost always health. There's always health concerns, generally speaking, especially the ones I dealt with overseas. But nothing to the extent of an 85-year-old individual, with the exception of Gaza, obviously. But this is a different case from this is not, we presume, is not a jihadist terrorism kidnapping case, but an actual probably either kidnap for ransom, which we presume, and or extortion. And that's what we need to figure out. What is that extortion, and why did they choose target Miss Guthrie?
Well, and your expertise is fabulous to get because you've worked on some of the toughest cases ever, like doing this in a foreign country where there's a war going on. I mean, what would you say we should expect today at 1 p.m. Eastern? We've gone a full day plus without a news conference, without an update. They've had a lot of time to go back to the scene. We've seen that. We've got, news reporters on the ground, both from this network all over the country and the local ones down there. So we're getting almost a step-by-step movement every time the police move and the sheriff's department moves.
Well, again, with the assets of the FBI, with the forensics that's been done, the press conference will be choreographed to relay more information to the kidnappers and or individuals responsible. Hey, the noose is tightening around you. You're better to, let her go, release her. And we found in Iraq, when we put pressure on, and in our case, we were sending special operations forces to roll up the network involved in the kidnapping. That's what ultimately ended up in the resolution of probably one of my most high-profile cases. Jill Carroll was released, not because we rescued her, even though the unit was on the verge of finding her position, but the group just realized we got to let her go because the authorities, the Americans, they're coming after us, and now we need to save our skin. And in this scenario, we can probably see some more signs from the sheriff's department or whoever's going to be the lead spokesman to try and let those individuals who have Miss Guthrie that, hey, time is running out for you to make this deal and resolve this situation.
Well, we know you served and you're an American hero. Just hearing you say Jill Carroll's name and knowing that you have rescued so many people and negotiated those rescues, God bless you and thank you for your service. Thank you for being in focus today.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.